Good evening, Yeshivat Shalom Bayit. Let's go. We're in Perek Bet Mishnah Tet. Okay, on page Lamed Chet. You see over there? So we're continuing. Bezrat Hashem today. Shur is L'Rufuah Shlema L'Kol Chorei Amo Yisrael L'Bechalam L'Chaya Badlea Leor Ben Ahuba Levi Ben Rachel Yosef Ben Miriam Moshe Ben Miriam Lydia Yaakov Ben Rachel Ruben Ben Lili. Any names? L'Rufuah Shlema? Yeah.
Chana Bat Sol.
Huh?
Chana Bat Sol.
Chana Bat
Sol.
Sol. L'Rufuah Shlema.
Mordechai Mati Ben Mazal.
Mordechai Mati Ben Mazal. L'Rufuah Shlema. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, we're continuing, like I said, Mishnah Tet. Amar lahem. So now Rabbi Yochanan is talking to his Talmidim. He had this 5 Talmidim that he praised each one in the previous two Mishnayot. Tell us their accomplishments or their whole mahut. So now he says to them, after he testified that they are great scholars within their own right, Amar lahem. So he says to him, Tzeu uru ezu hiderech yishara shidbak ba ha'adam. So Rabbi Yochanan tells his students, now go, with all your knowledge of Torah that you have, please go figure out what is the best idea, a form of life should a person lead. That he should, this should be his prime goal. Aaron, bo. Okay? So now what happens? They came back. They went ahead and they made a kol cheshbonot, and each one came with an analysis, and each one came with his own limud. Says Rabbi Eliezer. This is Rabbi Eliezer Agadol ben Hurkanus, who had mamash, as we know later on in his life what he was. So he says like this: Ayin Tova. He says a person should live in a category constantly looking at everything with Ayin Tova, meaning we'll see what that means really, with a good eye. Let's see. We'll go to Rabeinu Yonah. He'll explain. Rabbi Yeshua Omer. Rabbi Yeshua. That earlier Rabbi Yochanan praised him, saying Ashrei, meaning that he took literally the entire Torah, wherever it says Ashrei, which means praiseworthy a person who acts X, Y, and Z. And there's like different psukim over there. Rabeinu Yonah enumerates like 7 different places. Nisim Bo, 7 different places where the Torah tells us Ashrei. So the person, what he does, so it says when Rabeinu Yonah or Rabbi Yochanan says on Rabbi Yeshua Ashrei Yoladato, means that he has all these attributes, meaning he was engrossed in everything he did. He was accomplished. So what's his idea? What is the best path to live your life? So he says Shachen Tov. Either, what does it mean? Either find a good neighbor or be a good neighbor. So we'll have to figure out what does it mean, good neighbor. Like before looking at Rabeinu Yonah, I'm just going to tell you what I do. What I do with my neighbors. I'm always wrong. First rule, somebody asks me to buy a house, I tell them on one condition, I talk to you, I give you advice, on one condition, that you're ready to become a neighbor that says, I'm always wrong. If you're ready to do that, you're my type of a guy, and now you could talk business. The person has to know, I'm always wrong. So maybe that's what it means, Shachen Tov. We'll see, or maybe that you should, okay, let's see. Rabbi Shimon says, Haro'eh et hanolad, a person who foresees an outcome for his action. Remember, in this world, everything is a cause and reaction, everything, right? And that's why the politician, the most successful politicians, they know what to cause in order to have the proper outcome. That's called Haro'eh Tanolad. Rabbi Elazar says, from all 5, Lev Tov. He comes back with a good heart. A person should live a life of a good heart. So Rabbi Yochanan heard all this things. Again, 3, all 5. Rabbi Eliezer, good heart, a good eye. Rabbi Shua Chaver Tov, a good friend. Rabbi Yossi Omer Shachen Tov, a good neighbor. Rabbi Shimon says, Haro'eh Tanolad, sees the outcome of his actions. And Rabbi Elazar says, a good heart. So Amar Lahem, says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Ro'eh ani et divrei Elazar ben Arach, the last one, I see his words, and I conclude like him. He is encompassing and he's better than all your suggestions, right? Because in his word, his one statement actually includes all 5, like we just said. Okay. So then, after a while, he says to them like this. So till now we were discussing what is the best attitude that a person should have in this life. Now we're going to discuss what is the worst case scenario that a person could be in this world. What is that worst thing that a person could become? Says Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Ain Ra'ah. If Ain Ra'ah is bad, again, remember, he correlates with what he said good. He said Ain Tov. So now he says Ain Ra, a person who is jealous, Ain Ra, evil eye for other people's possessions. So Rabbi Yehoshua Omer, again, opposite of what he said before. He said Chaver Tov. Now he says Chaver Ra. Stay away. Don't be a bad friend. Rabbi Yossi Omer. Okay, Rabbi Yossi says Shachen Ra. So these three so far are each one correlating to what they said. One says good, so right away opposite. Now, however, the next one is a little bit switching. Rabbi Shimon Omer, something else. Right? What did Rabbi Shimon tell us? Rabbi Shimon said to us, Haro'et Anolad, right? He told us whoever could foresee the cause of his action, right? He could see. Now he tells us something else. He says, Haloveh ve'eno mishalem. A person who borrows and purposefully does not pay back, meaning he has the money in the bank account, he doesn't want to pay. And what's his excuse? The excuse is the guy is an idiot, he gave me a loan. That's his excuse. He doesn't want to pay. Not that he doesn't have money. We're not talking about specifically the person who has no money. We're talking about a guy who has money, and we're not even talking about that he has to sell to get the money. We're talking about he has liquid. Because if a person borrows money to buy, let's say, property or something, you can't go to the guy now and tell him, okay, sell your properties to pay back the loan. That could be problematic. Okay? He didn't borrow the money in order to buy and sell. So, B'ezrat Hashem, selling socks, what's going on here? מה זה?
מזל וברכה.
מה זה?
קח.
איזה מידה שלי? לא עכשיו.
קח, כל שלך, כל החבילה שלך.
למה? איזה מידה זה?
זה גדול, זה יתאים לך.
I have to sell special socks, the big socks.
זה יהיה נוח מיוחד.
No, it's not Noach, it's about compression socks. Okay, we'll talk later. Rabbi Shimon. Thank you very much. I don't know. So he says, Aloveh ve'enu mishalem. So what does that mean? Why is that a better idea? Echad aloveh min ha'adam. Anyone who borrows money from an individual. It's like Aloveh min ha'makom. It's really like he's borrowing from Hashem. Because Hashem tells people, Hashem has sovereignty over our loans, right? Hashem told us, you cannot charge interest on loans. Why? Because that's called imunah. You trust in Hashem. If you charge interest, meaning you think your money is yours. But it's not that we don't charge interest. So who has sovereignty over our money? Obviously, Hashem. And now that you're going ahead and borrowing money from this individual who Hashem has restricted from taking interest, so you're really borrowing from Makom, from Hashem. Baruch Hu shene'emar, Loveh Rasha. So now Rabbi Shimon brings a pasuk. Loveh Rasha v'lo yishalem. An evil individual, he borrows, but he doesn't pay. V'tzadik, chonen v'noten. The tzaddik, he is chonen, he is, how you say that word? Consoling. He consoles and he gives back. No questions asked, right? Rabbi Elazar Omer, Lev Ra. Oh, so Rabbi Elazar goes back to what he said. He said Lev Tov, now he's saying Lev Ra. That's the bad tribute to go away from. Amar Lahem, same thing. Ro'eh ani divrei Elazar ben Arach midivrechem. Says Rabbi Yohanan ben Zakkai to all of them that Rabbi Elazar ben Arach he's stronger, and all shebichlal devarav divrechem, all the things that you said are encompassing in what he made a statement. So now let's go back to page Lamed Chet, Rabeinu Yonah. Rabeinu Yonah tells us in the bottom over here on page Lamed Chet, Tet. Amar lahem. So who is talking now? Rabeinu Yonah is telling us, Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai leTalmidav. Okay, so it sounds like Rabeinu Yonah, he knew that we're going to be learning. Yeah, amazing. Rabeinu Yonah is a Rishon. So he knew what's going to happen. He knew that when we're going to learn his Pirush on the previous Mishnah, we're already going to forget who's the talker here. So he's telling you, some people think the Mishnah Yod is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, let's go, weiter, just read. No, there's a holy mood. So Rabeinu Yonah says, you're going to be busy with my Pirush on Perek Chet, Mishnah Chet, probably a few minutes, few days. So he says, now I'm going to remind you, by the way, you know who's talking? It's Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. So the Talmidav, he says to his students, and he told them which one. Shesamach bechelko. Okay. Ayin to Omer, Ayin Tova, Mi shesamech bechelko. Oh, so Rabeinu Yonah right away explains to us, what does that mean, Ayin Tova? Ayin Tova means, this is Rabbi Eliezer Hukunos, Mi shesamech bechelko. He's happy with what he has. Rabbi Shua Omer Chaver Tov. What does that mean? She'idbak ha'adam ele Chaver Tov. What did he say? Go Tzuru is that which way a person should cling to. So he tells him, go cling to a good friend. I would think that you should be a good friend, right? But the problem is, what's the problem? What's the problem with me being a good friend? What is the problem with me being a good friend? You know what's the problem with me being a good friend? You know what's the problem with that?
No.
I'm always good.
So what's the problem about
So that's the problem. You always think you're good. So he's not talking about you.
think you're
Yeah, because I'm always a good friend, right? so he's not saying, listen, don't make a mistake thinking that you should be good friend, because you always consider yourself a good friend. So you go and find yourself a good friend. Who's a good friend? And no good unless Torah. So learning Torah constantly, that will justify. Rabbi Yossi Omer Shachen Tov. What does that mean? לבקש דירה שכניה טובים כי חברתם תדירה והנאתם מרובה בזמן שהם טובים. Oh, so he says when you moving to a property, to a house, make sure you buy a home or become a neighbor with good people.
How do you know?
Huh?
How do you do?
Good, you're going to do tests. That's why you're going to move around and check around. You move to the neighborhood and you walk around and you see who the people are. Okay? כך פירשו הראשונים ז"ל. This is how the הראשונים explain. ואין עוד דרך ישר. רבינו says, no, I don't know. כי לפי הדבריהם עין טובה ולב טוב הם דברים שבגופו. Yeah. So he says, Rabeinu Yonah says, I don't understand this pirush. You just told me what? You told me in the first two things talk about me. I have to be a good person. I have to be happy with what I have. I have to God, שידבק אדם, היה שמח בחלקו, שידבק חבר טוב. Right? Now you think Shachen Ra, Shachen Tov, it's talking about who? It's talking about other people. So what's right? Good. Again, in the first two, he says it's me. I have to be Sameach Bechelko. I have to be mitchaber to good people. So how come you're telling me now Shachen Tov means I should choose a Shachen Tov?
Okay.
Right?
It's like אתה לוקח את עצמך כטוב בטוח.
Right? שכניו טובים כי חברתם תדירה. No, but look at it. שידבק האדם מן אל החבר טוב. So that's also for the second person. It's not בחלקו. What is Rabbi Yonah saying? לבקש דירה של... Okay. ואין עוד דרך ישר, כי לפי דבריהם עין טובה ולב טוב. לב טוב, that's the end. Okay. הם דברים שבגופו. וחבר ושכן טוב בשל אחרים. וחבר ושכן טוב אצל אחרים. על כן יש לפרש זאת המשנה דבר דובר על אופניו. It's all, you have to do what? It's a reference. Yeah, ביטו. It says, על כן יש לפרש זאת המשנה, דבר דובר על אופניו. שבגופו בחבר ושכן טוב משל אחרים. על כן יש לפרש זאת המשנה, דבר דובר על אופניו. So Rabeinu Yonah is going to explain it that everything is talking about you have to be. Right? If you tell me that Lev Tov, it's talking about me, and Ayin Tov, it's also talking about me, so all the three in the middle has to be also concerning me. Remember, what's the third one? Third one, Haroina Nolad. It has to be that the Mishnah is talking about all about me, because at least these three right now are talking about me. The first one, the third one, and the fifth one are talking about, the first one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. It's talking about me. Ayin Tov, I have to do Ayin Tov. Lev Tov, I have to. What about Haroina Nolad? I have to know the outcome of my actions, right? So that means I have to be very careful with my actions. So the other two are also has to be talking about me. Meaning Rabeinu Yonah says, when it says Haver Tov, you have to become a good friend. Mashma. And Shachen Tov, you have to be a good friend, a good neighbor. So it sounds like what I'm saying. That a person should always, I mean, not my words, obviously it's from Chazal, that I'm always wrong. Rabbi Yaakov, you know Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, you ever heard of this? Talmid Chacham? You know Rabbi Shmuel Kamenetsky, you heard of? A big Pennsylvania, Rosh Yeshiva of Pennsylvania. Is Rabbi Shmuel Kamenetsky. He's a Gedol Ador, one of Gedolei Ador today. He had a father, he's also Gedol Ador in his time. And he also was Shiva. So he had a minhag. When they came to the weddings, they asked him, what's your minhag at the wedding? The Shatchan or somebody asked, Rebbe, what's your minhag when it comes to the marrying of your children? So he says, my minhag is whatever they say. Whatever the other side says. What do you say? No whiskey at the tables? No problem, no whiskey at the table. Yes, whatever you say, whatever your minhag is. He says, when it comes to marriage, Again, alright. So he had this idea. Rabbi Kabineski said, "Whatever you guys do, that's my minhag." Okay, whatever. That's shachen tov. Shachen tov. Oh, well, whatever you say. What's my garbage is on the wrong side? No problem. I parked the car the wrong way. I'm parking it like this anymore. Oh, anything you want, whatever you want. What's your problem? I had a guy. I don't know what happened. He gave me permission to park by his parking lot. I asked him. I called him up. I said, "Can I use your driveway? Sometimes by me it's blocked." Yeah, no problem. Okay. So the 1 week, second week, third week I parked. The guy comes to me on Sunday afternoon. So he called me by my drive. Maz, he's ready to eat me. You can't park in the driveway. It's stealing without permission. I said to myself, you forgot that you gave me permission. Hey.
Maybe he thought one time it became permanent.
No, again, he's not using it.
It doesn't.
He's not using it. It's an empty house. There's no tenants. He's looking to rent. So I tell him, while it's empty, I'm going to use the driveway. I have guests coming, Baruch Hashem, this and that. I want to use the driveway sometimes. No problem, Rabbi, it's okay on the phone. No problem. All of a sudden, I go, the house is not rented yet. What do you want? I said to my wife, don't you dare look at that driveway. It's not ours, finished. The guy's Majnun, but it's not my fault. I'm going to do this, people. Shem Lachem. Ezohi derech yeshara sheitbag ba'adam. What's the best place the person should be clinging? What does that mean, Bichlal? So now he says, Rabeinu Yonah is going to explain this. B'chol hamidot hatovot hayesharot yesh la'adam lidabek b'hem. I don't understand what Rabbi Yochanan is teaching, Bichlal. Every good midah you have to cling to. What is this question? What is this purpose of Rabbi Yochanan's Bezakai's statement? Rabbi Yonah explains. Really, what Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had in mind the following: Lidabek b'midah hat lihiyot shalem ba. Meaning, Baruch Hashem, we have a lot of attributes, a lot of good things that a person could do in this world. But Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai wanted to impress on his students to take one midah this is it. This is the one that you just stick to it forever. It's preferable for a person to have one attribute that he is 100 completely with it, instead of having a lot little by little. And from it will be easier, because you're clinging to one midah constantly. This is the midah that you do. One of this that we just mentioned 5, and this one will lead you to encompass the rest. That means what? Again, Rabeinu. So now you see, Rabeinu Yonah is saying all 5 of the midot are good. What's the difference which midah? According to Rabbi Yonah, it doesn't matter which midah, right? Because he's telling you the outcome. If you're going to cling to one midah completely, he's actually telling you that will lead you to all of them. Okay. It's better to have one midah that he's completely full in trust into it, he trust, they jumped it. This is him, and to be many and not one of them be complete. And this is what Rabbi Eliezer says. Good eye. Meaning ayin tova, person who is always giving. It's a tribute that's mamish praiseworthy. Obviously, if a person gives to others, now he's going to feel bad that he gave to others. So now for sure he has ayin tova. And now for sure he has a lev tov. Why he gives a lev tov? Because he doesn't want other people to harm. That this because of his attribute of love and loving caring for others, he's going to have this attribute. This person is going to have all good tovot. וזהו שכתוב ומכונן עין אשריו. עניים, סליחה. ומכונן עניים אשריו. And the one who is chonen, meaning he consoles the עניים by giving them tzedakah, charity, he is praiseworthy. Okay? רוצה לומר שהעניים הם מוציאים מהם בעיניו ונותן להם בעין יפה. He gives them a lot of money, but good to say, because a poor person needs it. מלשון ואת עפרה יכוננו. It's from the language, afara, I don't know what that means. If afara is dust, yichonenu, I don't know. Okay. She'afar Eretz Israel imtza chen beinehem. Yichonenu. Again, yichonenu is a lashon chen. Find favor. Right? That the land will find favor. Again, that's one of the things So, this is beautiful, Rabeinu Yonah. The Gemara tells us that Eretz Israel is nikna be'isurim. You hear what he's saying? And so now he's telling you some kind of secret. Looks like he's telling you how to be koine Eretz Israel without isurim. How? Give tzedakah. Sounds like, no? Okay, let's see. Rabbi Yehoshua Omer Chaver Tov, a good friend, what does that mean? שידבק אל דרך הישר הזה, והוא נקל לעשותו ולהיות חבר טוב לאיש אחר, לאשר ליבו חפץ. ולהרגיל עצמו שתהיה רוח אחרת נוחה ממנו, וכן יבוא באהבה עם כל הבריות. Again, so he's talking about myself. He is talking about myself being a good person, a good friend, meaning going out of my natural tendencies. What are my natural tendencies? I don't know, you owe me everything. Rabbi, you owe me everything. That's my tendency. That's my tendency, right? So what does he do? He says, no. Go out of it. How you go out of it? Is by being a chaver tov. What is chaver tov? Give. How you connect chaver? Give. Have. Take. Habibi, I'm in the airport. Come in. I'm there. Okay, let's go. Give. Constantly give. That's how you break the ta'ava that, first of all, everything belongs to me. It's not true. You don't owe me anything. And the only thing is I'm here for you. That's what we do. That's chaver tov. Rabbi Shimon Omer, Rabbi Yossi Omer, shachen tov. What does that mean? שיהיה בעצמו שכן טוב אל כל שכניו. That's what I say. What does that mean? ואחר היותו טוב ואוהב נאמן לחמישה בני אדם, או לשמונה, קרוב אליו הדבר לאהוב את כל באי העולם, ונמצא מבושל בכל המידות הטובות. What is שכן טוב? You know what שכן טוב means? I'm always fault. What's your problem? I did this? No problem. My car is sticking out of your driveway? No problem. This, that, no problem. Anything you want. Why? Now that you behave properly to 5, 6, 7, 8 people of your neighbors, good. Now you're going to have proper behavior to all the people in the world. Rabbi Shimon Omer, הרואה את הנולד, שנותן עיניו על כל דבר ורואה כל הדברים הנולדים קודם שיוולדו. He pays attention to all the things that will happen before they happen. כשרואה דבר שיש שכר בתחילתו וסופו מביא לידי הפסד, מתרחק ממנו. He sees a thing that will give him a lot of reward at the beginning, but then he knows that it will come up to the end, to the back, it will end up bad for him. So he stays away from these things, right? Like today, the bursa, right? They promise you, they promise you in the stock market $1 billion. You invest $1 million and you made. I have a guy, was always crying to me, never has money. It's amazing, right? I call up rich guys for donations, let's say. I say, we need this, that. I said, Rabbi, what do you want from me? I just lost $180,000 yesterday in the stock market. One guy almost fainted. He lost $500,000. I say to myself, he never tells me when he makes $180,000. He only tells me the bad stuff. No, but then I tell him, no, but I'm not calling you for your business money. I'm calling you for tzedakah money. Oh, how much money I need? We need to buy books. Send me $500. Okay, here's $500. Yeah, but they're always crying. You hear? Not once, never. I never called a guy, Rabbi, I made $300,000. Here's a $30,000 check. That never happened yet. Maybe, you never know. Okay, maybe somebody's... Okay, continue. מתרחק, okay, so now, וכשרואה דבר שיש, okay, שכר בתחילתו, okay, מתרחק ממנו, ובזה לא יחטא לעולם. So now that you make a calculation, and you say, listen, I'm going to do this Avirah. What's the reward? I'm going to have a pleasure for now. A few minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 days, 5 days, I'm going to have pleasure. And in the end, what's going to be the punishment? The punishment, you'll know, stay away from it. He's constantly going to calculate the reward for the Avirah, for the sin, the enjoyment. I got it. He's going to say, I'm enjoying the Avirah so little, in the end, the punishment is going to be much greater. Thank you. Okay? לחשוב בתחילה, ועל כן, יש לאדם להידבק בדרך ההיא, לחשוב בתחילה מה שיהיה בסוף, ולחשוב כל ענייניו על ידי מחשבה זאת. Therefore, a person should constantly think what's going to be the outcome, what's going to be the end result, and it's going to lead him to do a good thing with his thoughts. Rabbi Lazar אומר לב טוב. Rabbi Lazar says good heart. What does that mean? Rambam zal פירש, שזו היא מעלת תיקון המידות. The heart is a way of fixing all your attributes. לפי שדעותיו של אדם נובעות מן הלב, all the feelings that you have, all the desires you have in this world, are all stringing from the heart. ובזמן שליבו טוב, כל מידותיו ישרות ודעותיו נכונות. If a person has a good heart, all his behavior, all his process of thinking and everything is good. ונמצא שמח בחלקו, מתחבר עם הטובים. And therefore, because he's happy, he's always in good state, he's going to be clinging to the good things. ואינו חפץ, אלא בדבר שיש בו תועלת ולא הפסד. And therefore, he's going to be clinging to anything only that gives him some kind of benefit and not a loss. וכן כתב הרמ"א ז"ל, ואמנם כי הדבר כן הוא כדבריהם, אך אין הפירוש מתיישב לפי דרכנו. So now, Rabeinu says, wait a minute. Again, so how do you explain it? What are we explaining till now? What does that mean? No, here's another explanation. What does this mean, good heart? Yeah? He's not short of breath, meaning she's not easy to get angry, meaning he tolerates a lot of bad things that people do to him. And the person who what's left of means people trying to anger him, and he doesn't get angry. It's very slow to get angry. A person who is in this is attribute that he holds back when everybody could feign to be good. It's always, nice and dandy. You go to a meeting, let's say, you go to somewhere, there's a gathering of people, everybody's nice and dandy, they're smiling to you, right? Get somebody angry, let's see what happens to him. So here the rabbi says what's left of means you anger this person and he controls himself. He doesn't fight back. Oh, that's right. And that's what's called a good heart. Good heart means, again, let's just analyze it for a second. What happens when a person gets you angry? You get angry. When you get angry, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends a malach right now to punish the other person. You know that? Instantly. When we hurt each other, there is nothing that stops. There is a gzira on the spot, the sign, and there is no moment to tshuva. If you did tshuva before the malach got to you, machul. Ask for mechila, Hashem mechila, no problem. But if a person hurts other people, there is no grace period. There is no grace period. Rosh Baruch Hu says this is the most thing that he hates the most is people hurting each other. In that instance, the gzar is nifsak. He has to ask mechila, and everything will be good. Now. So over here, why don't you get angry when people are trying to get you angry? Because you have a good heart. You know that if you get angry, the guy is going to get punished. Since the guy gets punished, you're not getting angry. That's why you're not getting angry. You know what's going on? So Rabbi Yochanan says, I appreciate the Rabbi Lazar's words over yours. What does that mean? It says like this. Why? Again, if Rabbi Yonah says, I don't understand you. Rabeinu Yonah says, if you take one good midah and you go with it constantly, that's going to bring you to all the midot. So Rabeinu Yonah now is going to have to figure out how to explain this part of the mission, because Rabbi Yochanan Bet Zakkai is a Tana Eloki, and right now it sounds like Rabbi Yonah was actually arguing with Rabbi Yochanan Bet Zakkai, right? Because Rabbi Yochanan Bet Zakkai says, I don't care which midah you take, and I don't care your end result. Right now, I'm telling you, this is the best midah, right? So it sounds like Rabbi Yonah is not arguing, is not agreeing with Rabbi Yochanan, and that's a question. How can Rabbi Yonah go against Rabbi Yochanan? Let's see if he does. Let's see how he's going to explain this. Maybe we'll play out. Ki adam shemidah kazot shochenet b'kirbo. Any person that has such a midah that he doesn't get angry, tov hu gam lechaverav v'leshchenav ulchol haolam. The person, because he's good for everything. Gam midah hanedzivut yesh lo. He has midah of giving. Ki im haguf v'halev mitnadev libnei adam. That's not the not the argument. Rabeinu Yonah is not telling you something different than Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, don't start from Ayin Tov. Don't start from Lev Tov. Don't start from Ayin Tov. Don't start Chaver Tov. Don't start from there. Start from the Ikar, Lev Tov. And all those already will fall in its old place. You hear what Rabbi Yonah says? Rabbi Eliezer is saying you could. So maybe Rabbi Eliezer is not arguing with Rabbi Lazar. Rabbi Eliezer, remember? No, he says Leftov includes all the good midot. Good. But no. But one second. Let me. Somebody asked me. Rabbi, listen to this. If you look at the Achronim, a lot of Amoraim are arguing what happens when Mashiach comes. What happens? What will be in the world when Mashiach comes? You have Shmuel says this, Rabbi says this, Rab says this. All the Amoraim say something else. So somebody, I asked the question in the Mirash. I said, what does that mean? They're arguing? What does that mean? So actually, they're not arguing. You know what they're saying actually? They're saying is, when they spoke, what is Mashiach? Mashiach is like a Leida, right? A woman giving birth. When a woman gives birth. So who decided when a woman will give birth? Hashem. He already decided when the baby is going to come. But how is the baby going to come? It all depends on her attitude, her moods, and everything, right? The woman has all this throughout the whole pregnancy. So meaning, whatever the woman did, and whatever a woman's strength is, the zchut of her child is carrying on, and everything that she was involved to give birth to him, that's within a baby. Meaning, le'ito. So when the Chazal said, what happens when Mashiach comes, they're talking le'ito, their time. So when Shmuel said X is going to happen, you know why he said it? Because in his time, that's what's going to happen when Mashiach comes. This rabbi says something else. You know what he's saying? Right now, because now he has the aura of Shekhinah is on him, and he's saying, Mashiach comes, this will happen. Meaning, if now he comes. There are infinite ways that Mashiach comes. Infinite. They're not arguing each other. It's just the moment that he comes. It's that moment. So same too over here. Rabbi Yohanan ben Zakkai says that Rabbi Lazar's words are the Ikar. You know why he said that? Because Rabbi Lazar went to the spitz, went to the main thing. And there are some people who could go through the main thing and learn everything else. Maybe Rabbi Eliezer ben Hurkos is not arguing with Rabbi Lazar. You know what he says? He says, Ayin Tova. Why is Ayin Tova? We're going to take a Pishat of Rabbi Yonah. He's saying, because of Ayin Tova, I'm going to get to Leftov. Meaning, I'm at a different level now. Rabbi Lazar says, if you want to get all the levels, take Ayin Tov. But you have to be able... Right, but you have to be on that level. You can't start just like this. So Rabbi Eliezer says, I'm talking to people who are not in that level. Remember, that's the most incapacity. That's the most highest level that a person could achieve. Lev Tov, that's like everything, right? But it's a madriga, it's a level. Not everybody is able to do it. So where you started from? Ayin Tov. Ayin Tova. Ayin Tova, from the smallest one, right? Why should it hurt you if somebody's enjoying? Be happy with other people. It's the lowest madriga maybe. So Rabbi says, start from there. Boom, boom. As Rabeinu explained, you get to everywhere eventually. So it's not argument way. It's just the way how to look at it. כי אם הגוף והלב שלו, גם מידת הנדיבות יש לו, כי אם הגוף והלב נתנדב לבני אדם לחפוץ בכל רצונם ולעשות ברצונם, כל שכן שיתנדב להם בממונו. Of course, he loves everybody. He has a good heart. Obviously, he's going to help them with tzedakah. בכל מידת טובה שתשכון. Okay, let's just skip all this because we just discussed this outside. Let's go to Amar Lahem Tzuru now, to the second paragraph. You see that? Now, what about the opposite? What's to stay away from? Says Rabeinu Yonah, צריכים אנו לפרש שאלתו ותשובתם. We have to explain his question first of all, and their answers. כי דבר ידוע הוא שההפך מן הדרך הישרה היא הדרך שהתרחק ממנה האדם. I don't understand you. It's simple. It's simple understanding. Whatever the Rabbanim just told us the good way, obviously the bad way would be opposite of that. So why did he even have to ask? You hear what Rabbi Yonah is bothered by? You know what Rabbi Yonah is bothered by? Why is Rabbi Yochanan Bechal even asking this question? It's automatically. What's opposite this Tehillim? This is Tehillim. You know what's opposite. So I'm telling you, this is 4 or 5 good midot. So what's opposite of the 5 good midot? The opposite of this midot. So we're asking. That's the question. You hear? So he's going to explain now. והנכון כי מפני שיש כמה מידות טובות שהפכן אינו רע. Oh, wait a minute. Says Rabeinu Yonah, even if you have some good midot that are good, not all necessarily all opposite of that is right away ra. כמו מידת החסידות. Oh, listen to this. So what's a chasidut? We said chasidut is devout. Right? The rabbi says, we make hamotz lechem min haaretz. What does a chasid do? Hasid goes to Zohar and he learns there has to be 12 bulkas on the table, not 2. So now, if you don't have 12 bulkas, it's bad? You're right?
No.
So good. You had 12 bulkas. So he says, חסידות שהיא מעלה גדולה מאוד, ואם לא יתחסד, לא יקרא רע. Why shouldn't he be bad? So just because you don't have 12 bulkas, you're a bad person? Good. אז זה אמרו עין רעה, כלומר, יאמר אדם מידת הקילות אינו רע. אחר אשר לא עשק ולא גזל את עמיתו, ורעתו רבה, כי היא יסוד לכל מידה רעה. וממנו יבוא לעשות כל דבר רע. So now, again, let's go into Ayin Tova, right? What is Ayin Tova? We said Ayin Tova is Nadif. But let's say a person is not Nadif. He doesn't want to give out his money. But he doesn't steal. So you're going to say he's Ayin Ra? He is not Nadif. So what are you going to call him? You know what Ayin Ra is? Ayin Ra is specifically somebody goes and steals. Steal from people. He's Ayin Ra. He's Gozel Nashim. He isn't happy what you have. That's Ayin Ra.
אבל אני מקבל, אבל where is the...
No.
איך הוא גוזל? הוא עושה עין רע? הוא סך הכל...
No, Ayin Ra, why he's stealing is because he has Ayin Ra. He's telling you why he's stealing. Right, but again, somebody who doesn't have Ayin Tova, is not automatically Ayin Ra. Ayin Tova, we said somebody who gives. But if the guy doesn't steal, he earns his money, he lives all his life without giving one tzedakah penny. He's Ayin Ra? No, he's not Nadif. But he's not Ayin Ra. But we said Ayin Tova is what? Nadif. So which one is it? You see, so even that. So we have to explain each one. That's why Rabeinu says, that's why we brought this. That's why Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai brought this out. Right? וממנו יבוא לעשות כל דבר רע. שלא יאמר אם לא תשיג אל הקצה האחרון במעלות דאיננו חסיד. So like that, of course, that we don't say a person who keeps halakha says lechem mishnah and 2 breads on Shabbat. So he's following the halakha. He's not chassid. Oh no, he's not a chassid. Why would you say that? Right? Again, we don't say if you follow pshat, you're not a chassid. You follow halakha, right? But if a person follows, so there is no such a thing as opposite chassidut. That's what he's trying to tell you. Not every midah tova has opposite. And actually, it's bad. Let's say you do pashtanut, right? How many? I do hamotze and 2 breads. So I'm not a chassid. If you tell me I'm not a chassid, that's offensive. You understand? Because how do you know? Maybe yes, maybe not. So that's not automatically. אך אהיה צדיק לעשות מן מה שהצטוויתי עליו.
אם הוא, עכשיו שאלה סתם. אם הוא if he's doing on one חלה, יצא ידי חובה?
Of course יצא, he doesn't have 2. But לכם 2 משנה, 2. The man came with a double. First of all, double portion. And also it came with double covers. Right? You're supposed to have a plate under, and then you put a bread on top. There's a lot of things. Covering the whole thing. But again, pashtanut, you could make even on a slice of bread. There's no bread, you have to make a motze. So you have sliced bread. You make all a slice of bread, no problem. So, but obviously you want to fulfill the mitzvah with the shlimuta, which is like the most best way. Everybody buys 3 lachamim, 3 bulkas or something for Shabbat. Okay?
No,
you know 3 or 4. You know why 4? 2 Friday nights, he eats 1. Shabbos morning, he eats, now he has 3 leftovers. He eats another one, and so that shows the sheet. He has 2 left. I'm just saying for one person. Okay. Now, okay. So now, והוא לא ידע כי חסרון לא יוכל להימנות. צדיק לעשות מה שהצטוויתי עליו, והוא לא ידע כי חסרון לא. Okay. Let's see what's whiter here. If it's because we've got the time short now. וגם מידת הכילות גורם להיות בעליית המידות. Okay, we're going to skip to the next page. Go to the next page. מ' רבי יהושע אומר חבר רע. Okay, חבר רע. Let's just go כללים. חבר רע means רבי יהושע אומר שכן רע בהיות בעצמו רע. אל חבריו ושכניו. חס ושלום to be such a person. רבי שמעון אומר הלווה ואינו ישלם. לא היה יכול לומר בכלל להפך. כי הרואה את הנולד שהתרחק ממנו האדם שכל אחד אם מרוחק ממנו מאליו. Right, if you already know. Right, so what do we say? הרואה את הנולד. So he's already, the purpose is what? To stay away from it. So opposite of that what? The person knows better and he goes to it? What are you going to say? So that's why he says, that's why he didn't give this explanation. He gave an explanation, הלווה. What is the דבר אחר? שיש לאדם לראות את הנולד. Okay, no second, let's see מי שאינו רואה. No, okay, we explain all that. בכל השעה גם הוא צריך להלוואה הרבה מאוד. ואם לא יכיר בשלו כי יהיה בידו יכולת, לא ירווה עתה משום דוחק שיהיה לו, וידחוק השעה גם כי אם הוא צריך הלוואה הרבה מאוד. Sounds like Rabbi Yonah says over here, it's not good to borrow ever. Right? שבשעת הלוואה היה לו לחשוב לראות אם יוכל לפרעו, שיגיע הזמן לפירעון. When you borrow something, you have to know how to pay back. ואם לא יכיר בשלו כי יהיה בידו יכולת, לא ילווה עתה משום דוחק שיהיה לו, וידחוק השעה גם אם הוא צריך להלוואה הרבה מאוד. So this is a big mistake today. A lot of people, including myself, when I took הלוואות to do business. Eventually we fail, unfortunately. Don't borrow anything. Don't borrow money for business. Huh?
If you know that you cannot return.
No, I have ways to return it, but it's all held up now. So I went to people. Yeah. Don't worry, we're gonna do like this. Everything was there, guaranteed. Everything was $5, and now you have your left the debts. It sounds like Rabeinu Yonah that it has to be alva'ah you're taking on menat that you know 100% you're gonna pay it back. No sfekot. If there is a safek, you don't borrow the money. That's what Rabeinu Yonah says. Hashem should help us. Okay, if you don't borrow, no, there's no way you're going to pay it back, you don't borrow. A person who borrows is like borrowing from Hashem. So a person who lends people to poor people, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who pays back to the lender. As it says in Mishlei, Hashem pays back to the person who lends people, the poor people, money. And obviously everybody who borrows money is considered to be too poor at that moment, even though he's a rich person. Still, that's what we're talking about. So again, the rabbi says over here, a person should know, sounds like Rabeinu Yonah is telling us, don't borrow unless you have a way to pay it back, guaranteed. Have a wonderful Shabbat, B'ezrat Hashem. We're going to end over here, okay? Beautiful. Rabeinu Yonah. Let's get mitzvot.